And we've been talking about debates most of the morning, and of course yesterday in prep for the debates. And part of the discussion over the course of all of the debates that we've watched and discussed with you has been the deportment, the physical carriage of the presidents, body language. You know, how Obama appeared to be defeated in the first debate. You know, like he was being scolded with his head down and not looking at Romney. And then how in the next one, you know, both men moving towards each other, perhaps menacingly or whatever the various interpretations were. Certainly body language, as we watch the candidates, is important and sends a big message about who's a gentleman, who's more presidential, et cetera, et cetera. But
go ahead.
But the opposite's true in terms of us. If we could see how we reacted, our facial expressions, our body language,
I know what I was
would be
doing.
An interesting story as well.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna try the name one time, Patryk, and hopefully we get it right. Patryk Wezowski. How close are we?
Oh, I'm there. I'm hearing you very well, Dave.
All right, very good. He is the founder of the Center for Body Language. And check this for an interesting premise. How about if you watch the debate on your computer and have your camera on, so it's recording your reactions, your facial expressions, your responses to the debate, and then Patryk's group is able to interpret really what you make of these candidates based on the signals that you give, and how does that square with the polls where you just have to give maybe an opinion or the opinion you think you're supposed to give. Patryk, good morning. Thanks for being here.
Thank you very much for calling me up. It's been an interesting night because we've been on CBS yesterday evening, also just after the debate, and also testing some local people in the U.S. With the webcams and visiting them also personally. So it's been a very interesting day and night yesterday.
And as it settles out, what did you discover? Yeah. What were people's reactions? What were you reading off of folks as they watched the debate?
Well, until now, what we've measured are mainly the speeches of Obama and Romney from a few weeks ago. However, we see that when we measure the future speeches, that the results tend to be always very, very similar. Now, I'll tell you what we know until now from the voters' subconscious emotions, because that's what we measure, indeed. With the webcam, we can see what the voters feel without that they have to say it. And what we've noticed is that a larger percentage of people, when they see the picture of Romney, experience the emotion of disgust and anger, just slightly. It's a very close race. But this gives already an interesting indication in where the independent votes could go to. Probably rather not to Romney, because more people feel anger or disgust when just seeing his picture.
Really?
Yes, really.
Okay, so the how does and that's the interesting thing about your studies and the current polling trends. As the polling information comes out, it would seem to indicate, and who knows if you can believe those things or whatever, but it would seem to indicate that the nation is moving a bit more towards Romney. If internally we maybe don't like, if psychologically we maybe don't like Romney as much, is it possible that we would say, look, that's a bitter pill that I'm going to swallow because whether I like him or not, I think he can fix our problems more than the other guy who I like more?
Well, it could be. What we see in our results is that they're pretty accurate because we've done it 2 times in Europe already. And the emotions, especially the subconscious emotions, the emotions that people cannot express, tend to be a very good indicator of where the vote would veer to. And the reason for that is that for example, one of the reasons is the amygdala that makes in our limbic system the emotional decisions. It's much faster than our rational mind. So we tend, how the decision process works, to make our decisions based on emotions, and then later on, much later on, rationalize them.
Where are you?
All right, so let me restate that. So if I got you straight, our heart tells us how we feel, and then we build a case with our mind to bolster that feeling, that we justify it by looking for the facts that will back up what our heart said. Is that right?
Well, it's not rather the heart, except in cases of love.
Well, but I mean emotion.
It's the amygdala. It's a region in the brain, in the lower parts of the brain.
Yeah,
there's the main decision process. And what we've discovered also is that people tend to laugh with Obama longer when they see his picture. And we measure that through the lip corners going upwards. And which means probably that just by seeing this picture, a certain percentage of independent voters, they prefer Obama.
All right, now let me ask you this.
Study.
Can you factor in or out the historic nature? It's like Obama was our first black president, major accomplishment for this country, major statement on putting racism to rest. That's a very emotional thing. So
yes.
could we be reacting to that as much as anything else when we first see that image?
Yes, definitely. And that's the reason why we interpret as humans the statistics that the computer gives us. But there is more. It's a whole video you can see on our website. Well, actually, even people listening right now they can watch the video and do the test themselves and have their emotions analyzed if they're curious about the statistics, and to see them themselves on presidentialelectionprediction.com. And they will see also that there is a very large peak of happiness when Obama talks about ending the war in Iraq. It's a very delicate topic, and what we've seen from other presidents talking about that, usually they get quite negative reactions of anger, disgust, sadness, fear, and so on. However, Obama, the way he talks about it, he gets happiness. So that's a very, very good sign. There is also more. If I'm not going too fast, if I'm not overwhelming you with this.
No,
that's interesting.
All right, good. So let's go on further. On the video also, you will see when Romney is laughing in a sarcastic way with Obama. Now, they tend to do that also in the debates, and usually it tends to work. But the way Romney does it, it doesn't work at all, because it incites quite a lot of disgust in people the moment that he's laughing in a sarcastic way with him, and they're not listening or not attentive. We see that in the IQs and in the facial expressions. He doesn't make his point after that sarcastic part.
Gotcha.
So it actually degrades his speech.
And it puts up a wall for what he's about to say after that, because people won't be tuning into that. Yeah,
exactly. That's what we've measured. However, the way Obama does it, he does it in a much more elegant way. It's much more subtle. And the way he presents it leads to more attention, more happiness. People laugh with his joke and are more in rapport with him.
Your name isn't. Your middle name isn't Hussein, is it, Patryk? I'm just kidding. Hey, let me ask you this. I got to ask you this, though, because this seems to, and that's the whole point of this seems to fly in the face of what conventional polling is telling us. So I got to ask about your sample. Are these young people that are computer savvy and tech savvy and are going to more likely be in tune with the president versus maybe older, more conservative voters who maybe aren't as likely to do a online sort of survey?
Well, it's people between 25 and 45 are the main group, like 50-60%, but there are people from all ages in there.
Okay.
So it's a mix, and we have a lot of independent voters who've done the test. So we've got pretty good numbers or where it might veer. And what's interesting, yesterday on TV, we did a simultaneous tryout. What it gives that an independent voter, or he presented himself like that, as an independent voter, what it does when he watches the video on our website, and we could register it live on TV, that when he was seeing Obama, he was narrowing down his eyes and his eyebrows went downwards, which is not a good sign. When he saw Romney, his two lip corners went upwards, which is a good sign. So it means that this person, this independent voter, will probably vote for Romney if he will have or will make that choice on 6th November.
Now, there was a TV show on called Lie to Me. Are you familiar with that program?
Of course, we know it in and out.
I was going to say
that's exactly what we do.
That's your job. I mean, they could have cast you guys then in that, because you read people's body language as they do their thing and as they watch others do theirs and reach your conclusions. So at this stage of the game, Patryk, with 2 weeks till the election, would you and your group then be willing to predict that you think that Obama wins?
Well, what we do is exactly what you see indeed in Lie to Me. However, you see also in Lie to Me that it doesn't always correspond with what happens in real life. So, and right now we will close off the study end of this week. So I don't want to make my final conclusion yet. However, as for it today, it seems like Obama has an advantage, playing the way he does with playing or not playing with the emotions of people.
And if people want to still get in your study, where do they go to do this? If they want to participate or want to find out more about it, let's direct them to your website and how they can check it all out.
presidentialelectionprediction.com, and they can see the video and the statistics online, and you'll be able to see our final conclusion by the end of this week.
Fascinating stuff. I was a big fan of that show. I love the concept of we can't help ourselves. Our real emotions have to express themselves some way. And those who are expert enough, like yourself and the folks on that show, allegedly, could read that and tell when people were reacting a certain way, whether they tried to hide it or not. So fascinating stuff, Patryk.
We're actually all experts already. We just do it intuitively. The only thing we do, we train to make it conscious. That's all.
Well, they say that babies look at the reactions to their parents and cue instantly from the earliest of ages. So I guess you're right on that regard as well. We appreciate your time this morning. This has been very interesting. And I hope that our listeners will go to that website and get a chance to watch the speeches, get the reaction, and affect your statistics before they are all said and done. And we just might have to call you up after the election and have a follow-up. What do you say?
Great. I'm looking forward to the call. Thank you very much, Dave.
Patryk, thank you. Appreciate it. Make it a great day.
7:54.
That was a great TV show. I mean, was it Tim Roth? Is that his name? No. I don't remember.
I can't remember, but yeah, I liked it.
Good show. In fact, this is where it would be.
Remember the girl remember that one lady that was on there and she was married and her husband was there and her family was there? Is that the right one? Where she was like, remember, was it the one where the lie detectors, they'd say something and then they'd be false or true? No?
Yeah.
Remember that show?
Tim Roth. Kelly Williams and Brendan Hines were the main stars. 2009 to 2011 TV series. No, Dr. Cal Lightman. I don't remember.
No, it was a game show. It was a game show in which they'd ask people.
Oh, that's something totally different.
Different one. Yeah. Anyway, right.